Should Cristiano Ronaldo be the captain of Manchester United? It's a simple question. There's been an interview with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's been very clear on what he wants from the mentality of Manchester United moving forward. Is he the man to lead Manchester United, though, for the remainder of his contract? Hugh, talk to me.
Absolutely, he should. I mean, I don't want to be too disparaging about Harry Maguire, the current captain, but it's not a very high bar, I've got to say. The other thing is, Manchester United is an elite club and it needs to have an elite vision. We've spoken about it for so many years. Have they had the best in class in all the facets of the club, in the boardroom, in the managerial position, in the dugout and out on the pitch? And the answer is no. But they finally have one of the world's best, undeniably, at their club. And that person is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's experienced, he's mature, and he's back at his second home, if you like. Now, I think, to be perfectly honest, he should be the captain. There's a big gap at Manchester United. There's some great older players, there's some great younger players, and there's not much in the middle, to be perfectly frank. And so he does maybe need to help bridge that gap and show the club a way forward. People forget, over the history of Manchester United, there have been some real fallouts with some of their big names. But you know what those big names were asking for? The club to invest in the very best, to support the club to go and win trophies. The likes of Wayne Rooney, for example. You know, he was almost out the club until the club realised that what he was saying was right, and they needed to invest in better players to keep up with the other big clubs that were spending money in the Premier League. So why not have Cristiano Ronaldo leading from the front? I can't see a downside to it.
No, I think there are a lot of positives here. I guess there is an idea of possibly treading carefully at this moment in time, because I guess the one question I have, if you want to play devil's advocate with this one, is what kind of damage does it do if you swap your captains out? You know, when it's not down to the fact that this player's left the club, he's still going to be there as that centre back. It's a very clear message that you're not capable. He says himself in the interview, sometimes you've got to destroy a few things to move forward. I would completely agree with that. It's a bloated squad. And I think you need to almost kind of double down on the leaders that you do have. And I also like the idea of kind of keeping Ronaldo honest. If there was an idea that he wasn't happy with the manager, which I think the interview wasn't totally concrete on the fact that he really liked Ralf Rangnick, but by making him the figurehead, which, you know, in anything but having the armband on his arm, he is already, you make him honest and you make the standards being set at a much higher bar than they are with Harry Maguire, with someone who is confident with the pressurized situation that Man United find themselves in, because they really do. And again, coming back to that interview, what I thought was fascinating was that you put forward someone like Ronaldo to speak. He is completely comfortable in that pressurized situation. He's very comfortable knowing that this isn't good enough and this is the standard up here. And I thought that was very, very interesting. And I guess you want a reaction. We've been looking for it for a while. Is this the way of doing it, do you think?
I saw a video of him at Juventus very recently. And look, that was a title-winning side, by the way, at Juventus, going into the change room after a bad defeat on one of their behind-the-scenes documentaries, and really, you know, shouting across the changing room, you know, about the responsibility that comes with being at a club of that magnitude, and the way that the players need to go out there and apply themselves, give absolutely 150%. I think he needs to bring that to this changing room at Manchester United in the most positive of senses. And I think when you look around the squad and you look at who's really good enough to be there long term, 5 or 6 players at Manchester United have the chance of being elite or have been elite. The rest can go as far as I'm concerned.
So looking forward to the game against Aston Villa, the second game between the pair in a week. When you talk about those players that might leave the club and you can sell them all if you want to, how many of these Man United players actually get into the Aston Villa team right now? Because there's conversations everywhere, by the way. Maybe a few that would get in. David De Gea I would put in ahead of Martinez. Martinez has struggled in comparison, certainly, to the fantastic season he had last season. So I'll put De Gea in there ahead of him. Left back and right back, it's tricky, isn't it? Luke Shaw, Digne, who's just come through the door. Matty Cash has had a great season. They've been flip-flopping between Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. I think Varane definitely goes in there. Maguire or Mings or Concert, it's a bit of a toss-up there. So at the moment, I've only got De Gea and Varane. And then we go into midfield, Hugh. Any midfielders get in front of McGinn, Luiz and Buendia possibly, or Coutinho, another one of the new signings?
If you want to be really tactical about it and you start moving positions around, possibly, you know, you might have Fred over Douglas Luiz, you know, maybe, you know, Scott McTominay runs around a lot. I mean, he could provide something to the Villa midfield. Yeah, but in terms of elite quality, you wouldn't really put Manchester United miles above them. Bruno Fernandes has a case, not playing well at the moment, though. You wouldn't definitely take him, especially if Phillipe Coutinho can rediscover some of his previous form. Certainly you wouldn't take him over Coutinho if Coutinho's at his best. So, and that has been a long time, it's fair to say. But still, you get to the forward line, yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo, definitely. Other than that, it's a stretch. You've got to say Manchester United aren't where they used to be. Villa are on the up and up. I love these two signings. I think Luca Digne from Everton is going to be fantastic. Real quality on the ball, that's important. Phillipe Coutinho as well, quality on the ball. Steven Gerrard knows what he's doing here. It isn't just about bringing in players that you think can do a job. These guys are a big improvement in terms of the way that they use the ball. That's going to be key for them getting into the top 8 picture, top 6 picture, and who knows what else.
And you're right. I think what I really like about this Aston Villa squad and the building that's happening there is that you feel like the standards are going up already because Steven Gerrard's there at the helm and he's a winner. He's disappointed when he's not getting what he wants, which is winning football games. But also with these players that are being brought in, I think the big thing that needs to be remembered is it improves the bench. You might have a game where you don't play Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins, or you might not play Emi Buendia and Coutinho. But if one of those guys are on the bench, and Emi Buendia, again, season after season when he is in the Premier League and does get those opportunities, does create chances, 3 shot creating actions per 90, which is really, really strong, the best in the team so far. And they've brought in a player who's going to be very competitive with him in Phillipe Coutinho. Of course, the big question there is how much is he going to play and how much is he going to offer and how good is he nowadays? How do you feel about him? Do you feel like he can get back to that greatness?
I think he can. I honestly think he can. He just needs to be somewhere where he's loved. He's given that game time. It's almost like he has to start every single week to regain that form, that fitness and that confidence. But if he can do that, he's a sensational player and hopefully he can. Very quickly on this before we go, Aston Villa, 22 matches at home, going back to 1995 against Manchester United without a win. Can they do it this weekend?
I think so. I really do think that they will be chomping at the bit to win this game. They will be annoyed at what happened in midweek, but they dominated that FA Cup game and still lost. It's amazing, actually. The sentiment around any discussion around Man United has still been so bitter, really, because the quality wasn't there in the performance. We're still waiting for that performance alongside a result. And I think they smell blood. And I think Aston Villa could do it. I think the first time since 1995. I guess a defeat maybe for Man United and those young players back in 1995. It worked out for them. So maybe it might not be the worst thing, but I think there's a little bit more quality in that squad than this one.
Hi, I'm Hugh Wisencroft from ESPN's Football Forecast. Make sure you're subscribed. You can follow all of our predictions throughout the season and get some other great analysis from our big names as well.